Hi children, today we are going to learn about numbers. As you can see that in front of us, we have to count numbers from 1 to 10. So it says that we have to count first and then we have to trace the number. So the question is, or our task is that we have to count the fingers and then we have to trace the correct number, right, which is given in the box. Let me give you an example first. So you can see that over here, two hands are shown with some fingers opened, right? And we have to first count that how many fingers are opened. So first of all, with me, let's start counting that how many fingers are opened. Now, this is your finger number 1, right? This is your finger number 2, which is opened. And then you have finger number 3, finger number 4, and then finger number 5, right? So in total, 5 fingers are opened. And in front of it, you can see that we got two boxes. The first box contain a number, that is number 4, and the second box contain a number, that is number 5. Now we have just counted that how many fingers are opened. 5 fingers are opened. That means that 5 is the correct answer and 4 is not the correct answer, or this is the wrong answer. That is why over here only the correct number or the correct number of fingers which are opened by these hands is traced, because our task is that we have to trace the correct number, and here the correct number is number 5. Now let's switch to another box which is right in front of it. Here you can also see that here we got two hands with some fingers opened. So let's start counting with me that how many fingers are opened. This is finger number 1, this is finger number 2, this is finger number 3, and this is finger number 4. So in total, 4 fingers are opened, right? And in front of it, you can see that we got two numbers. This box contain number 3 and this box contain number 4. And we know that number 4 is the correct answer, right? So that means that we would trace number 4. So with me, let's start tracing. Start from the bottom and stretch the line in the upward direction till you reach the top. Now, make a slant line in the downward direction. Make a horizontal line from left towards the right to complete the correct number, that is number 4. So we are done with our first box. Now let's move and see that what we have in the second row. Now, in this second row, we can see that here we also see two hands with some fingers opened. Now, first of all, we would count that how many fingers are opened and then we would trace the correct number. So start with me. This is your finger number 1. This is your finger number 2. This is your finger number 3 and finger number 4 and finger number 5. So that means that 5 fingers are opened by these two hands. So 5 is the correct number. Now you can see that in front of you, you got two boxes. One box contain number 4 and the second box contain number 5. And 4 is not the correct answer because we have just counted that the correct number is number 5 and number 5 is the correct number. So let's start tracing the correct number, that is number 5. First of all, we would stretch the horizontal line from right towards the left, and then we would make a slant line in the downward direction. Now let's start the curve part and keep moving in the downward direction till you reach the bottom, and now curve up slightly to complete the correct number, that is number 5. So we are done with this box. Now let's start counting that how many fingers are opened by these two hands. So this is our finger number 1, this is our finger number 2, and this is finger number 3. So 3 fingers are opened by these two hands. So that means that 3 is the correct number, right? So in front of you, you got two numbers. this box contain number 3 and this box contain number 2 and 3 is the correct answer, right? So let's start tracing this number 3. We would start from this point and then we would move in the upward direction. Now curve down. Stop here for a second. Now start from this point again. Keep moving in the downward direction and now curve up slightly to complete the correct number, that is number 3. Now let's start tracing this number 3. Start from this point, curve up and now curve down to complete the upper part. Now we would start from this point, keep moving down and now curve up slightly to complete the lower curve part. Now let's start tracing the correct number. Start from this point, curve down to complete the curved part. Now keep moving down and curve up slightly to complete the lower part of the number 3. So we are done with the tracing of the number 3 as well. Now let's see what we have in the third row. Again, here some fingers are opened by these 2 hands. So let's start counting. This is finger number 1 and this is finger number 2, right? So that means that 2 fingers are opened by these 2 hands. So 3 is not the correct answer and 2 is the correct answer. So let's start tracing the correct number, which is number 2. Start from this point. Now curve up, curve down, make a slant line in the downward direction. Now stretch the line from left towards the right. So we are done with the tracing of the correct number, that is number 2. Now let's see what we have in this box. Again, some fingers are opened by these 2 hands. Let's start counting. This is finger number 1. This is finger number 2. This is finger number 3. And this is finger number 4. That means that 4 fingers are opened by these 2 hands. So 4 is the correct number that we have to trace. In front of it, you got 2 boxes. This box contain number 3, which is the wrong answer. And this box contain number 4, which is the correct answer. That means that we would trace this number 4. So first of all, stretch the line from bottom to top. Now make a slant line in the downward direction. Now stretch the line from left towards right. Now let's start tracing with me this correct number. Stretch the line from bottom to top. Now let's start tracing with me the correct number 4. Stretch the line from bottom to top. Make a slant line in the downward direction. And now horizontal line from left towards right. So we are done with the tracing of the correct number, that is number 4. Now let's see what we have in the last row. So here are also some fingers opened by these 2 hands. So let's start counting. This is finger number 1. This is finger number 2. This is finger number 3 and finger number 4. So that means that 4 is the correct answer. So in front of you, you got 2 boxes. This box contain number 3, which is the wrong answer. And this box contain number 4, which is the correct answer. So let's start tracing the correct number, that is number 4. So stretch the line from top towards the top and now make a slant line in the downward direction and horizontal line from left towards right. So we are done with the tracing of the correct number, that is number 4. Again, see what we have in the last box. So let's start counting that how many fingers are opened by these 2 hands. This is finger number 1, this is finger number 2, this is finger number 3, finger number 4, and then finger number 5. So that means that 5 fingers are opened by these 2 hands. In front of it, you got 2 boxes. One box contain number 5, and we know that number 5 is the correct answer. And the second box contain number 4, which is the wrong answer. So that means that 5 is the correct answer, and we have to trace it. So let's start tracing. First of all, make a horizontal line. Now make a slant line in the downward direction. Now from here, start the curved part, keep moving in the downward direction and now curve up slightly to complete this number, which is number 5. So we are done with the tracing of the correct number, that is number 5. Congratulations, kiddos. We are done with our today's task. So first of all, you have to count that how many fingers are opened by these two hands. After counting, you have to see that which is the correct number, and then you have to trace that correct number. I hope that makes sense to you, kiddos. Keep practicing to avoid any kind of mistakes. Thank you so much.